one of those holidays that moves from day of the week to day of the week across the year. So it relates to different days in different ways, unlike Thanksgiving, which is always on a Thursday. Christmas moves to different days. And so it happens that yesterday, a lot of us were here. And one of the things that happened in the social hall after our service was that some of our children came out of their class and they had made snow globes. They had taken jars and they had filled them with plastic trees and I think a tarantula in one, and some snowy-like stuff and water, and they had created these little scenes. And other than the tarantula, which did in fact move around, most of these scenes were sort of set. They were sort of what they were, and while the snow went up and down around them, the scenes themselves did not change. And I think sometimes that's how we think about this story of Christmas. We think of it as a story that is set, that does not change, and that our life swirls around it like the snow, but it itself is a destination, something that we just observe. And tonight I want to say to you that I think that perhaps we should talk more about the journey than the destination. And those who journeyed, those wise ones who journeyed, and what they were looking for and what they were bringing. And this is a year when we've had so many journeys. And I want to honor us and think about how we use that lens to tell that story. It seems worthwhile, in fact, to think about the Three Kings, which is the next carol we will sing. Even though the language of that particular carol seems a little clunky and awkward in these times, there are all kinds of realities that live in that particular carol that maybe we need to think about a little bit more in 2018. Maybe we need to look at this story as if it were not static, set like those little plastic trees in the snow globe, but more like the travelers, the wise ones who were going to see. To think of ourselves not so much as the spectators in a pageant, but as if we were in the narrative, as if we were in fact the travelers on that journey, hoping against hope for some window to some greater possibility. Now, any season that creates a time out of the ordinary provides us a chance to think about where we are and where we were last time we made that journey. So on this particular Christmas Eve, we have heard so much about traveling, about journeys in and out of power, about journeys over and up to borders, about journeys into unwanted speech and into uncommon truths. And we're grateful to think of all who have journeyed in this last time since we were here together looking at that scene in the snow globe. We don't have to think about them in any particular way, I think, but I think that we should concentrate on those that are traveling just as much as we travel to a destination or think about that destination of the story. I think it is true that we do not always know where wise ones will be found. Before dawn on my street one morning this week, 3 almost identical, matching, small brown dogs appeared and were wandering about. And I wondered, but no, I don't think so. Many will come into our lives, and they will be hard to see sometimes. Sometimes it might be in a gift you receive or a truth that someone tells you or just some words. Today, someone dropped by to give me a gift, someone who shared a journey with me in a difficult time in my life. And the gift was some chocolates, which I'm grateful for. But the bag itself said, "Believe." And that was a gift as well. What we know is that the story, from our perspective, is not about a perfect journey or a luminous manger or even how wise the wise ones are or how amazing the gifts are that they bear. We who live in this world know that any human system is imperfect. It's always a work in progress, it's always a journey. And that any gifts that we get or we have to give are also gloriously imperfect. Even the wise teacher that we celebrate tonight is not as perfect when we tell the story now. Like all of us, a product of his time, and like all of us, limited by that time. What keeps the story fresh is that it reminds us to look anew at the world with the eyes of wonder, as if we were that wise one bearing our paltry gifts in the narrative, glad to be the gift bearers, as if we were those wise ones who were part of the story, not apart from the story. We are, in fact, part of the drama, which is ever unfolding year after year. In this world, as troubled as the world of the story's time, we journey and we seek that star, that spirit, that wonder, and that is what we have to see. So I invite us tonight to step into the narrative, to ask ourselves what gifts we have to offer the world from our own small treasure trove. For this is the truth that we can be reminded of each year, that we are also on the journey, and we are the bearers of gifts.
We three kings of Orient are, bearing gifts we traverse afar, field and fountain, moor and mountain, following yonder star. Oh, star of wonder, star of night, star with royal beauty bright, westward leading, still proceeding, guide us to thy perfect light. Born a king on Bethlehem's plain, gold I bring to crown him again, King forever, ceasing never over us all to reign. Oh, star of wonder, star of night, star with royal beauty bright, westward leading, still proceeding, guide us to thy perfect light.
And on this evening, when we have so much to hold, somewhere amidst your seat there is a small green card. And on that is a poem that I have written for this congregation for this evening. And I invite you to join in reading it with me, if I invite you to join in reading the italic part. O weary world of despots and tyrants, whose decrees of taxes, unjust and wrong, pursuit leave some as homeless wanderers. Open the doors of the world's heart, so all can be stilled to hear truth. For when wonder is born in a manger, and truth is found in a stranger's star, then peace shines out as possibility, sought by the wise of heart. O tired hearts in an unkind time, where all cannot find refuge or even sustenance, bring your creatures to a lowly stable, where all can be offered sanctuary. O wonder is born in a story, told over ages by the wanderer's lips, and peace seems a possibility to all who stop to listen. O fractured world, with your creatures warring as much against themselves as one another, Welcome the babe to your home and heart, so that all can be touched by the holy. For when wonder is born in a manger, and truth shines in a beloved's eyes, then peace calls out its possibility to those who are wise of heart.